Welcome. I'm Bryan,
And I'm Bryan.
and we're going to have a little discussion, a little round table. It's a pretty small table. There's two people um, about the Warner Brothers film slate, HBO Max news. So I already did a little video about this when the story first broke, letting you all know what the haps was. Check it out if you don't know what the heck we're talking about. But in a nutshell, Warner Brothers has announced that all of their movies that will be in theaters next year will also be on HBO Max day one for 30 days. They're still going to theaters where available, which is not many places at this point, but like internationally and things, and some states are still allowing it. So they will be in theaters and HBO Max. Bryan wanted to discuss this. He We hadn't talked about it really. I just put that up. So what you got, bro?
Yeah, I just figured we'd do a quick little video of it because it's a pretty big deal. It's pretty unprecedented for a big Hollywood studio to do this. And I'm trying to, I say that carefully because technically this has been happening for years now with Netflix. I mean, Scorsese put out his newest movie last year on Netflix and theaters. Alfonso Cuarón put out Roma the year before that. It also went into theaters. So it has been happening, but Netflix is its own kind of weird thing. They have their own system. But so this is the first time an actual Hollywood studio has done this. You can probably argue that Disney Plus started with Mulan, but they also charge for Mulan, so it's not really the same thing. But
So
yeah, I thought this was huge.
Mulan did not have a theatrical release, as far
Yeah,
as
oh yeah,
I'm
yeah, that's
aware.
true. So yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain on it and kind of talk about it, and because this is huge, and maybe to your surprise, and maybe people who know me. I mean, you know me pretty well. We grew up together more or less, and and a lot of people who know me know that I advocate for the theater experience. I see like 34 movies a year in theaters, and I'm a big fan of it. And it may come as a shock, but I think this is awesome. I think this is really cool because this is kind of just the reality we live in. Theaters are kind of dying at the moment because of the pandemic, and in order for us to enjoy these movies, we have to see them at home. And so, I'm glad that a service is letting us do this. But I also think, and I say that also with the caveat that it also kind of breaks my heart a little bit because I am such a huge fan of theaters and I would prefer to see these in theaters. But like you said, this kind of
Some of
makes
them,
some of them, yeah. This kind of makes both parties happy in the sense, like
yeah,
if you kind of go on a journey with me for a second and imagine that 2021 there's a vaccine in like February and things start to get back to normal, and they still hold this model of releasing same day. It makes people happy who like to see things in theaters because they can still see these movies in theaters, and it also makes the people happy who don't like theaters and don't want to leave their house to go sit next to a fucking asshole on their phone all day and spend $7 on a popcorn. So it
yeah,
makes both parties happy, and I think that's really smart and cool. And also, if there isn't a vaccine and things aren't safe in 2021, we still get to see these at home. We still get to experience
yeah.
them, and I think that's really cool.
A couple things. Most people were not going to be able to see these in theaters. I don't have any theaters open around me,
Yeah, neither do I.
so I wouldn't be able to watch them otherwise. Second thing, if you do have theaters open, um, does it really affect you? If you were going to go see them in the theater, you still go see it in the theater. If anything, it might make your theater watching experience better because the only people that'll be in the theater are the people that really want to watch it in the theater. So you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna have as many people talking loudly,
Yeah.
busting out their phones. I think those people will probably stay home. Um, and so it'll be a purer experience at the theater, I think. And yeah, I don't think this doesn't hurt anyone except the theater business. It's
Yeah.
like the consumer wins, but the theaters. I think AMC has already come out scathing HBO about this, which is like, what do you expect them to do? they spent so much money to make these movies, and they have to make this money back.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want the theaters to go out of business and the fucking you know, the the movie makers? So everybody just have no more movies anymore. That's how it'll be. No theaters and no movie makers. If you want a movie, grab your camcorder and head out to the fucking corner of your street because you're gonna have to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, you know, I get AMC wants to stay afloat, but shit, dude, they got to do something. And so I think this is a good win for everybody. Like I said, other than the theaters, and it's not it's not Warner Brothers killing the theater by doing this. Okay,
Yeah.
the theater was dying far before coronavirus. Like, you know, people just weren't going out and watching movies like they used to. I think the average American said they go to the theater like once or twice a year. I think it is
Yeah.
now.
And it was always, you know, for an Avengers
Yeah,
or a Spider-Man or a Star Wars, you know. Those are all those. I mean, yeah, you look at the top 10 movies every year, and I would say probably the first seven of those movies are either a sequel or a superhero film. So that's what people are going out to see. But
yeah. So I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. I mean, this is going to be so good for our channel. We can watch a movie the day it comes out and then talk about it the day after without
yeah,
having to travel out to the theater or hoping we get a good seat or hoping we get tickets sometimes could be the case. It's just going to be really awesome.
yeah, I totally echo all that. I mean, I'm stoked to get to see these. I will say though, it's worth mentioning that this plan is only for a year. I don't know if they're going to change their tune based on how next year goes. It's really all up in the air. You know, this could be such a great model that it'll continue further on. That will just be the new normal. Or, you know, theaters will somehow revive itself. And then starting 2022, Warner Brothers will stop putting stuff on HBO Max day of. So that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And I also want to mention that you know, I imagine that HBO Max is looking at their numbers of subscribers and they're probably getting their asses kicked because Netflix is a fucking behemoth and Hulu is pretty big. So this also gains them a lot of subscribers. But I would also like to say that I would be cautious about some of these releases because, you know, I know Dune is already done. Dune was supposed to come out in December, so Dune's already done. Dune's a surefire. It's coming out. But movies like The Matrix 4 and Mortal Kombat, I'm a little suspicious about them coming out next year because we haven't seen much. They were both announced last year, and I know both of those productions have stopped. So I'm wondering if they're doing like what a lot of video game studios do, like Microsoft, Sony, which is like, hey, you know, PS5 just came out and you should buy it because this year or next year God of War is coming out, and it's like, no, it's not. It's cool that it's coming out, but it's not coming out next year. So they're using these kind of staples to get people excited. Like, yeah, I'm going to subscribe, but then I don't think that's going to come out next year. And I also looked into The Matrix, and it was originally slated for April 2022, and then magically it's just going to come out earlier. I don't know. It's weird. So I would advise caution if you're going to immediately go out and subscribe, thinking you're going to for sure see Matrix and some of these other movies that just got greenlit. I don't know if they're going to come out in 2021. I hope that they do. You know, I'm rooting for them to come out, but I would stay a little cautious about some of these announcements.
I think perhaps, you know, they said their 2021 slate. So perhaps what they mean
Yeah.
is even if these movies don't make the 2021 mark, they were slated for 2021. So maybe they'll still hit the service for 30 days, you know, because they showed the logos, they promised it. Um, and I don't think that would, even if theaters were open, I don't think that would hurt them that much because it's only 30 days that they would be on there. And, you know, the people that are going to go to the movie theater are going to go to the movie theater. Like,
Right.
I don't think this is going to change your mind. Like, you know,
No, no, I don't think it will either.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to hurt their sales if theaters are open once the Matrix 4 comes out. I think that's probably a big enough draw that that'll do pretty well in a theater. Um, so
Yeah, I
I'm
just bring
hope
it up to like if there's somebody out there who's like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna subscribe to HBO Max because I'm gonna see The Matrix next year. I would just say,
yeah.
hey, I would be a little cautious because I don't even know if that's true.
And I'm
Because
pretty sure Warner Brothers owns HBO,
yeah,
right? So it's an easy thing to help their streaming service. It's like they're not making a deal with somebody else. And since they own HBO, I think they're going to honor the movies that they've said that will come out. I don't think anything beyond that probably, but the movies that are going to come out are, and yeah, a lot of these were not theater worthy movies for me.
hmm
Like I'm not going to go see Tom and Jerry at the
yeah.
theater. The trailer kind of looked, uh, it's all right.
Is it live
I'll
action? I had no idea this exists. Is it live action or is it animated?
Yeah, it's live action, but the Tom and Jerry are drawn.
Mm.
So, um, I'll watch that on HBO. I mean,
Yeah,
shit,
yeah, for sure.
sure, I'll check it out, and especially for free. And like I said, when I say free, they're just not charging you a premium for a theater movie like
Yeah,
Disney charged $29.99 on top of your subscription for Mulan, which is ridiculous.
yeah.
Um, so this one you don't need anything extra, and I think it's really going to help. This is like the best advertisement for HBO Max you could have ever imagined. Like
Oh, 100%.
nothing could be a bigger win. I don't think. Like I just don't see how that's possible. And I think it's going to force the hand of other movie studios. I think we're going to get some announcements about other movie studios doing this because like they have to. I was watching a video about it, and it's like the guy was like, "This is the most gangster." They call it gangster shit. The most gangster shit you could do. Like, guess what? All these movies, day one, all the other studios are looking like, "What the fuck? Really?" Like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? Watch these other movies are gonna come to these streaming services. At least for next year, I think.
Yeah.
Next year might just be a stay at home and watch every big movie year. That'd be so
Mhm.
sick. Was Batman coming out 2021? I can't remember.
Originally, yes. Which is weird because that's a Warner Brothers movie, and that wasn't in the cards. So I don't know if
Hmm.
they're really hinging on that being a theater experience, or maybe it'll be pushed to 2022. But I could have sworn it was going to be October 2021.
Okay.
But I know they've had issues with filming. I think Pattinson got COVID, and I think some crew members did. So I don't know how much filming they're actually doing.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really awesome. Can't and the movies on here are just fucking awesome, dude. It's like The Conjuring. I've never watched a Conjuring movie I didn't like. All of
Oh
them are
yeah, those
pretty.
movies are rad.
All of them are fucking scary and awesome. Like I still go back to them. Even the spin-offs, like the Annabelles and shit, are
Mhm.
really cool. So I know that one's probably going to be good. Dune. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with the first one, but everyone seems to be so hyped on this. I don't know. Is it a remake?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it's just another Dune reimagining of the book.
Gotcha. So I'm excited to watch that. Of course, The Matrix 4. I love me some Matrix and uh, I love me the Matrix. I think 2 and 3, especially 3, were pretty lackluster. So I'm hoping they can recapture some of that spark, that specialness of the first one. And then Mortal Kombat, I'm super hyped on that. I've heard really good things about like the casting decisions and stuff they're doing with Mortal Kombat, and they really want to do it well. Like, wouldn't that be awesome if the new best video game movie was once again Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, that'd be insane.
It's like what the fuck? Mortal Kombat just keeps knocking it out of the park. Um,
Not
then
very stiff competition though. It
yeah,
doesn't take much.
then yeah, but for a game that has no story really when it started, it's just people fighting each other to have the best
Yeah.
movies. It's like what the fuck's going on? And now it has some pretty interesting lore. Like they built up a really cool world and lore with the characters in Mortal Kombat. Um, what was the other one? Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah.
Who knows if that'll be any good, but it'll be a spectacle movie. So that's cool. What are some of the? That's about all the ones I can
That's
really
about yeah.
remember off the
Those
top of
ones
my
I can
head.
remember.
But those are the ones I'm really excited for, though. So
Are there any movies either in this Warner Brothers slate or just upcoming movies in general that you would want to see in theaters? Like, like, hypothetically speaking, everything goes away tomorrow. Like, do you think you're going to see like Ghostbusters and, you know, James Bond in theaters, or do you think you're mostly going to kind of stick to home?
Uh, I haven't seen a movie in theaters in so long because, first of all, I just feel like I got a busy time at home and we don't have much time.
Yeah.
Me and my wife together, we only have the weekends, opposite schedules during the week. And so a movie always feels like it takes too big of a chunk of time out of our days together to
Yeah.
have to figure it out, to go there, to watch it. You're down 2-3 hours of your day. Um, so I don't know. I don't think most of the time now I just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray and I
Hmm.
buy it. I buy it 4K usually day one because I got all the Blu-ray releases marked on my calendar. That's how I look forward to movies.
Nice.
Typically, is not the theater, and then I'll come now watch it at home because then I don't have to watch it with Jesse if I buy it. Like if I go to I'm not going to go to the movie theater alone by
Mhm.
any means. That's just weird, and I don't think she would like that either. Um, so Ghostbusters would be one I would like to see in the theater. Batman, I would like to see in the
Oh yeah, yeah.
theater. Matrix, I think I probably would have liked to see in the theater. Mortal Kombat, I probably would have liked to see in the theater just because I love that first movie, and I probably wouldn't want to wait all the way till Blu-ray release because I'm curious what they're gonna do.
Hmm.
Just a curiosity mostly on that one. So yeah, that's typically what I do is I look forward to the Blu-ray release now because I just like sitting here, make popcorn, crank my surround sound up. It's just me. I make it dark as shit.
Yeah.
Uh, I've added some ambient lighting on the top of my window, and I could change the colors of it to kind of make it feel like a theater. How they always got that little bit of light on the side tracks,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or the walkways, so you just get a little ambience. So that's how I like to do it. But I mean, I'm not against the theater. Like I would never go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's expensive. It's an ordeal, and it has to be something really good to drag me in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get that. I almost kind of envy you in the sense because it seems like you're in a kind of an entertainment room in your house. And unfortunately, like for us, we live in an apartment building where it's like I can't crank up my fucking. And I don't really have a good sound system, anyways. But it does suck for us because it's like we can't
Yeah.
crank it up because we'll get knocks on the walls and all that bullshit. So I always just like to to go to the movie theaters just because of the sound and
Oh yeah.
seeing the big screen.
Then the movie
But
theaters, the sound at the movie theater, first of all, is fucking ridiculous. Like sometimes I'm like, dude, turn it down a little bit. This is fucking crazy. It's just like, dude, it's like,
yeah,
oh my god, it's so loud in there.
yeah. But the one thing that I actually miss about theaters, and I hope that we can someday get back to, probably not. It sounds like it's gonna die. But one thing I do miss, like we've been watching these Harry Potters, and it's been really fun to watch them at home. And I have nothing against watching movies at home. I mean, I watch movies at home all the time. But the thing that I miss about theaters is like just experiencing something with a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching Avengers and Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk in the third act and fucking everyone loses their shit and he's throwing Loki around like a ragdoll and everyone's cheering. Like, I don't know, I miss all that kind of stuff. Whereas at
Yeah.
home, when you watch it, you're just kind of like, haha, and that's kind of it. But or like having an applause and everyone just enjoyed a great movie and everyone claps and everyone's chattering in the hallway. Like I kind of miss all that stuff. You don't really get that at home.
Yeah, it's kind of the best part of the movie and or best part of the theater and kind of the worst part, right?
Yeah, because you never know if you're gonna get stuck next to some fucking
Yeah.
asshole.
You never
It
know.
happens. Yeah.
There's always some dick who spent his $12 and still wants to be fucking and not immersed in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always a bummer.
Like why
But
would you spend?
I found my shitty movie theater experience in the streaming side, watching things at home. I don't know if you've experienced this. Maybe it's just me, or I don't know if anybody else shares this, but I've rented a few movies now from Amazon or Microsoft, like those, in theaters right now, rent.
Hmm.
And twice now I can think of my fucking internet went out. and it fucking sucks. And like in the like one movie we watched, it went out in the third act of the movie, like in the last like 10 minutes, and we were like, like nope, internet's out. I was like, fuck, this is like this is like getting stuck next to some asshole in the theater. It just ruins the experience. Luckily, it doesn't happen as often, but it has happened to me, and it's kind of a bummer.
Whack.
Yeah,
Uh,
fucking Xfinity, man.
Whack. But yeah, funny thing, just saw an ad on Facebook that our local theater, the Fairchild Cinema up on Queensgate, is opening for the next couple weekends, not to show movies, but to sell their candy for the
What?
holidays. Yeah, I think they just have so much of it, and
Mm,
it's just sitting there. So they're selling their candy for $1 per box or bag, and some of them are really big. I've seen like the big family ones, like they're just selling it for $1, and they're selling bags of popcorn for $5, like really big ones. So
fuck,
Jesse
that's
was,
sad.
yeah, I know. Jesse was kind of wanting to go down there and help them out and get some of that.
It'd be cool if they gave away some swag, like some
Yeah,
fucking
right.
badass Tenet poster or a
Yeah,
Wonder Woman
motherfucker.
cutout.
You don't need this shit. I should go
Yeah.
down there. Give me this. uh, but yeah, it was kind of sad. The pictures, it's like there's a bunch of workers in the background. They're stacking all the candy on the counter to take pictures of it, and you can see in the back like where they would normally make nachos, and that counter. It's just a bare bones. It's all cleaned and stripped, and it's like, oh man,
It's rough.
sucks.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because that theater candy hits different, bro. It just does. It's like you can buy it at the store. It just doesn't hit right. I don't know. It's like the packaging is not quite the same. They have a special like movie theater sizes they use and things. It's like it's just different, right?
Yeah.
Like a pack of Sour Patch Kids at home ain't that same, man.
Ain't that movie theater Sour Patch?
Yeah, when you get it at home, it's got like 20 lemons in it. It's like fuck you. You go to the theater, it's all reds and blues. It's like hell yeah.
Yeah, I was on like before they closed. I was on a this kick where every time we go to the theater, I'd get a cider and I think like popcorn or something. But it was kind of funny because the last movie we saw in theaters, it was a Ben Affleck movie. He was a basketball coach. I think it was called The Way Back, and he plays this alcoholic basketball coach.
Yeah.
That was the last thing we saw back in March, and it was kind of funny because I did my thing, went up to the concessions. I'm like, I'll get a cider, and motherfucker handed me a cup that was like this big. Like it was fucking huge, dude. I was like holding this huge thing of cider, walking into this movie about an alcoholic, and I'm like, oh, the irony. Like I didn't even think it was gonna be that big. He like pulls out this huge fucking jar of cider and he's just pouring in this cup. I'm like, fuck, dude. I thought you were
Yeah.
just gonna give me a bottle.
And then the cup holder at the theater, it's like that deep
Yeah.
on the armrest. You got you're gonna knock it over. They know it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. I like at the theater. I always want to eat at the theater. That's what's nice about being at home, because I can fucking make like a Tostino's pizza, have like some pretzel sticks, have fucking candy, popcorn. I bust it all out on like 3 TV trays before I start, and I just have all these fucking snacks. And I can't do that at the theater really because it's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to get everything at the theater, I'd end up paying like $40 just for snacks.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, because I always want something, and I always want the weirdest shit at a theater. Like it's like, oh, you got nachos? That's not something you should really eat in a theater. They're loud, they're unwieldy, they're kind of hard to hold when you're sitting there. But it's always, oh fuck yeah, I want a hot dog. All the weirdest foods. And it always makes you so hungry to see all those tasty snacks at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll take a $20 hot dog. Sure.
Yeah, that was always the shitty part about theaters. Is how much they get you for that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's pretty cool. We got Wonder Woman in 2 weeks, which is exciting. There's some buzz that just came out yesterday. Apparently, it's pretty good. And we got Tenet next week. So yeah, things are starting to roll out. I'm glad we get to see these.
Yeah, I can't wait for Tenet. Wonder Woman. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Let's see. They said the first one was really good, and I just thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
I guess I'm just not a big fan of the character. you know, uh, DC is just kind of, I just like Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Aquaman was okay too. I mean, I hope the Snyder Cut's good. I don't even know when that's coming out. Can't remember.
It's supposed to be next year, right? Thought it was
Yeah,
2021.
I guess they're adding a bunch of stuff though, man. Like I keep hearing about length, like him wanting to make it longer and longer and longer. I'm like, dang, and I thought I heard that they weren't going to come back for reshoots because HBO didn't want to pay for that, but they're reshooting. They're doing all sorts of stuff.
Jesus.
They're changing stuff, like fucking what's that guy's name? Like Joe Mangioli or whatever that he was in. Like
Deathstroke or whatever
yeah,
the fuck is it? Yeah.
he's in it. I don't remember him being in it originally.
He
But
was in
anyway,
a credit stinger. That was it. That's the
oh
only time
okay,
you see him. Yeah.
but he's in it more, and they changed his whole costume up, his whole look. It's like, damn, like you're not only adding more, you're changing the costume design of somebody to put him as. It's crazy what they're doing with this movie. So I hope it's good, because could you imagine like some of the cool cuts we could get if this really succeeds?
Yeah, man. I'm very curious. He's got my attention. I wanted to see what the fuck this thing is, and whether it's going to be 3 fucking 2 hour long episodes or if he's going to release some sort of 4 hour clear your schedule because it's going to be 4 hours long kind of movie. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm disappointed he never got to do a Batman movie, because I like his Batman a lot. I like Batfleck.
Yeah, yeah.
I like his take on that. One of my favorite superhero movies, period, was Man of Steel. I still love that movie
Hmm.
by Zach. Really cool Superman movie. Way better than that Bryan Singer
Oh, yeah.
piece of shit.
Yeah, it was rough.
But yeah, that's the HBO. Oh man, how much is it? $15.99 a month for HBO?
14, yeah,
14.
14.99. Unless they raise it
Oh fuck,
anytime soon. Yeah.
you better not. I mean, Netflix just did. It's bastards. It's like
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
you have so many subscribers. Like, why do you need to do that?
Yeah, we
Like you,
decided to do HD. It's $20 for 4K. I'm like, good. We can do HD. It's no biggie. Not for
yeah,
fucking $20.
yep. I still do the 4K. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I use Netflix quite a bit though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So big news, man. That's of course we had to talk about it a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad everyone's excited. Like I said, all consumers should be excited by this. Anybody
Yeah.
that watches movies should be excited about this. The only people that should not be excited about this is the people that own theaters.
Yes.
So, and I don't know any of them. So,
Yeah. Yeah. My closing, thoughts about this whole thing is I'm happy that this is happening for both audiences, both the audience that likes to chill out at home and make a 5 meal dinner and snacks and has a cool lighting setup, and the people who like to have that theater experience if it happens. My fingers are crossed, but if it doesn't happen, then I at least get to watch them from home. But my opinion on it is that if things do get better and I can go back to the theater safely and these movies are out, I'm probably going to see them in theater. I would love to see Dune in theaters, Matrix,
yeah.
but if not, then hey, I can watch them in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, right. See, I think it works for everybody. Theater
Yeah.
goers, if you have a nice home theater setup like me, maybe you just
Hmm.
have a fucking phone and
Yeah.
you just don't even give a fuck. You're gonna watch fucking Matrix 4 on a phone
Yeah.
just because you just want to see the movie.
Hmm.
These movies deserve to be seen. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck good is a movie if it's out in the theaters and nobody sees it? Like
Yeah.
Tenet. What good is that
Stupid.
movie to
Yeah.
go to a theater and have no one see it?
Hmm.
It doesn't do anybody any good. So until movie theaters are able to facilitate the kind of views that these movies deserve, it's like shit like this has to happen. And I think everybody knows that.
Yeah. Agreed.
So yeah, you got a phone, you got a 80-inch 4K, you got a projector at home, anything. It's like you get to enjoy the movie. So that's awesome.
100%.
I'm gonna do like a HDMI to coaxial splitter and like watch it on the CRT over here. I'll watch The Matrix on a CRT TV. That'd be awesome.
You monster.
All right, man. Yeah, good talk. Yeah, get HBO. I mean, if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, I mean, shit, why wouldn't this change your mind? This is really awesome. And it's got a lot of really good content. I really hope now a bunch of people hop on to HBO and they're able to invest more money into it and give us that 4K. Because I really think HBO needs 4K. Everybody else has it. So,
yeah. Luckily, Wonder Woman is going to be 4K. So we'll see what happens after that.
Did they say it's going to be 4K on HBO?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. The first 4K content, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay, I didn't know that. I heard that it was just going to be 1080. Right on.
Nope. The director went on Twitter and said, "Hey, happy to announce that Wonder Woman will be streaming HDR 4K HBO Max December 25th." So that's pretty cool.
Sweet. Yeah. Check out the news. Check out the slate. Get some HBO. As always, it's fun talking. And
yeah, thanks for doing this with me. I kind of sprung it on you, but I thought that was kind of the big news.
Yeah, for sure. A discussion that needed to be had.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's the news. Really, really cool stuff. We're going to bring you all these movies right after release or shortly thereafter, thanks to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because without this, I wasn't going to go to the theater. I mean, for most of these, if any of these. So we would have had to delay talking about them for months, you know.
Yeah,
So.
I would have seen Tenet in theaters. I don't think I would have seen. Well, maybe I would have seen Wonder Woman. I was in a weird situation because I had a Regal Movie Pass, so I paid one fee and I could see as many movies as I wanted. So I probably would have seen all these just so I can get my money's worth. But yeah, I hear you.
For sure. All right, man. Yeah. Thanks for talking with me. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a good Sunday and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. We'll keep pumping out crappy Christmas movies for you. Yeah, just thank you everybody. We really appreciate it. And have a happy Sunday. See you later, Bryan.
Yeah, see you.
Go Hawks. Later.
Go Hawks. Peace.
Peace.